Hey, it's Jill, and welcome back to your fitness audit. I'm so excited that you're back. Today is video number 2, day 2, and it's going to be a little bit shorter than yesterday's. Yesterday we did a little intro. We learned, we went through the nutrition portion and the fitness portion, and today we are going through the time management and routines portion of our worksheet and our accountability portion as well. So remember, you have this worksheet. If you printed it, great. If not, just grab a piece of paper and write down the sections and make some notes. This is not a magical piece of paper. Again, if you want, you can do all this and put it in an email and send it to me. You can do it on a piece of paper. You can type into these boxes if you have it digitally. Whatever works best for you. What's important is that you get this done. You do this exercise because it's 100% going to help you be better next year or in the next section of your journey or in the start of your journey than it was in the last. Okay, so you can do this. And so if you missed the first video, if you missed that portion, go back and do that. And we will have one more, a third video, and that's going to be all about goal setting, mindset, and motivation. So let's get started. We'll keep this short, and again, I'll provide you with my notes of all the questions that I want you to be answering in these portions of the audit. And of course, as I said in the last video, once you finish this, I want you to book a call with me so that we can go over it together and create that plan of action. That is your strategy call. That is your road mapping session for success. It is the most important thing. I mean, this is incredibly important, but the most important thing is that you take action on what you learn and you go ahead and start leveling up. So let's get a pen and your paper and let's go over time management and routines. And you might say, like, wait a second, Jill, you're a personal trainer and a nutrition coach. Why are you talking about time management and routines? This is a huge, important pillar in my Empowered Fitness Mastery program. That's my one-on-one coaching. It is so imperative. And I have 2 clients that already mentioned to me, I think that time management and routines is something that I really need to be focusing on in the coming year. And so let's go through these questions and then you'll kind of figure out by the end why it's so important. So my first question to you that I want you to be thinking about, writing about is, did you most often control your days, or did your days control you? Did you have a plan and you saw it through for the most part, or a little bit, or did you just let the day control you in that whatever came up is what you did? Because that can be exhausting and frustrating, and then we can feel like we never get to the things that we want to, like our fitness, like planning our nutrition. And we tend to, once we get off kilter, we tend to just kind of lose control of everything. So did you feel like you controlled the day, or did the day control you? Did you, and the next thing is, did you plan for the unexpected? Because guess what? The unexpected stuff happens all the time. So you have to be ready for it. You have to build in that time in your day, that buffer time for the things that are going to come up that you don't anticipate. For instance, if I'm going to go do my workout at 2 p.m., but my mom calls me at 1:59, what am I going to do about it? What's my plan? Do I always pick up the phone? Or do I say, hey, this is my time, I'm going to do it and I'll get back to her? Or do you pick up the phone and say, hey mom, I'm about to start my workout, I'll give you a call back as soon as I'm done, okay? So you have to decide how you're going to plan for the unexpected. And if that means that maybe you do your workouts at 6 a.m. so that nothing can come along in your day and screw that up, then that's what you have to be contemplating. What are the unexpected things that tend to come up that you kind of have to anticipate, okay? Or what happens if unexpected things do happen? How are you going to shift? How are you going to adjust yourself, okay? Another big question is, did you time block? And that's something that I do teach my clients, those I mentor, is time blocking, because it's a really great way to figure out what needs to get done in the day and where the space is for those things to get done. I go beyond the daily time blocking I go to weekly blocking and monthly blocking. And for that, even in my last challenge, I recommended that each person get a journal or a planner. And so these are the ones that I love. This is one that I use. It's small enough. I can throw it in my purse. I can throw it in the car, or I can keep it with me during the day. And I love that at the beginning, this one is called a push journal. At the beginning of the month, and you get to write in the days. So there's nothing is exactly time bound. You get to write what month it is and what you're gonna do for that month. And you can map out your fitness plan, your nutrition. You can make note of where you start. There's notes here. And maybe things change and you have to shift them. It's nice to be able to see that larger view of the month and your plan, right? And then next to that, you also have a weekly plan. And so you get to circle what the day is of the week and what the date is, and you get to plot things out, maybe not just in your fitness and nutrition, but life. And how is your whole journey going to fit together with life? Because ultimately, it's all just life, right? And then what I love as well is that when it comes down to each day, not only do we have, what are the most important goals, what are the important tasks, goals, family tasks, all these things. But there's an hourly plan. So how am I going to structure my day? And this is our time blocking. And what I said before was that buffer time, if things don't go right, is building in free space. And that's something I've learned because I like to take up every minute of the day. But if I take up every minute and something goes wrong, then there's nowhere to shift. So being able to create space in your life is incredibly important. And I have a lot of people tell me that they can't do workouts because they don't have time. But that time, that's a priority. Working out is a priority. So we've got to figure out what's filling our day. And so this is a good way to audit, is to actually get a planner and start tracking the next 3 days, the next 5 days, the next week, and see what is taking your time. What can we delegate? What can we eliminate? Okay? So this is part of our audit. It's a huge part. So are you time blocking is the question. The next thing is, what rituals do you have that set you up for daily success? And that's where those routines come in. And of course, that's something that I love to help my one-on-one clients. I have blog posts on routines and creating routines if that's something that you need as well. But it's really important that we're, one, setting ourselves up for a really great day with the things we do in the morning, our morning routines. Some people like to exercise, write, meditate, sit with their thoughts, visualize the day. There's all these different things that we can choose what our rituals are beyond brushing our teeth and getting dressed and feeding our children. But it's important that you're setting up the day for success, that you're starting with a clear mind, that you're starting without a lot of anxiety. And that's what routine can create for you, especially if you know what it is that's going to help you start the day calm. It's so important because we set the tone for the family. And if we can start out calm and confident and knowing what our day is going to be like, then everybody else just falls in line, okay? And then on the other end is, how are you setting yourself up for a good sleep, for a good end of the day? If we're going to bed with all of the worries from the day still in our mind, then our mind's going to be turning all night, and you're going to be one of those people who says, yeah, I don't sleep at all. I've got so much going on with my brain, I have a hard time falling asleep. So what are your evening routines, your evening rituals that set you up for a great night's sleep, for that recovery time that your body and your brain need? Okay? So I need you to ask yourself, do I have these routines in place, or do I need some next steps? Do I need to implement? Do I need to brainstorm what needs to happen? Do I need Jill to coach me as to what should I even be doing to set myself up for success? Okay, so this is your stuff. Are you using a calendar, a planner, a to-do list? Or is it all just jumbled up in your brain? Because sometimes the act of just taking what's in our brain and dumping it onto paper, it frees up that space. It frees up our ability to see clearer, okay? So I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being that you're super effective with your time, you have great routines, they're working really well for you. 1 to 10, how are you doing on that? How is 2022? How is the last 6 months, the last 3 months? How do you want to be next year? How do you want to be going forward the next 3 months? Okay? Doesn't matter what year it is. Doesn't matter your time frame. Maybe it's just next week. All right? So that's time management and routines. So let's move on now. Oh, before we move on, let's go over those 2 keys to success. Okay? Actually, there's just 1 key for this one. And I wrote down the most successful clients. My most successful clients have created morning and evening routines and feel organized. Not only that, here's number 2. They reflect often. Okay? So going back and saying what's working, what's not. What do we need to change? Okay? The next section is accountability. So I want to know who's been holding you accountable to your fitness goals, your nutrition plan. I know my kids love to hold me accountable. When I have a bowl of ice cream, they like to hold me accountable and tell me what I'm doing and ask me if it's part of my plan. So who's held you accountable? How did you check in and track your workouts and your nutrition? Again, that's who's holding you accountable. How are you holding yourself accountable? How are you knowing where you've come from and where you're going and how you're doing on that scale? Did you write your goals down? Maybe at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of your journey, or at the beginning of every month or week? Do you have a coach, a community, a partner in crime, a family, some kids? Who's going to hold you accountable in the future? Okay? So you got to rate yourself again. Accountability, 1 to 10. You're kicking it out of the park? You have an army to help you stay on track? Or do you need something? And if you need something, what do you think that is? What's going to help you, or who's going to help you? Or what's a step? How are you going to get there? Who are you going to talk to? You going to set up your call with me? Because we can brainstorm together. Okay? So the keys to success with accountability, which is the glue. It's the glue that keeps you on track, that builds that consistency. That's utmost important. Get a coach, get a community, get a partner, get somebody to hold you accountable. And then the second key is to write down your goals and share them with somebody or a lot of somebodies. Or put it on your wall, or put it on your mirror, put it on your little bulletin board, and keep it top of mind. Okay? Keep your goals top of mind. Tomorrow, we are going to go over goal setting, our mindset, which if you don't have the mindset, it's like don't even come to the table. We got to get that mind right first. And motivation. And you know I have thoughts on motivation if you've watched me or seen me talk about it before. So that's it for today. I'm excited to hear what's going on in your brain, what little epiphanies you have, what light bulbs turn on. And I will see you for workshop part number 3, your fitness audit. We'll see you next time.